a success?
Yes. Do you want me to explain? It was fantastic, and I believe in it with ever-growing passion.
That's not my question, but excellent. My question is, should Greece leave the European Union?
That's a matter for Greece and for the Greek people, and it would be totally wrong for me to come to Greece, advocate something like that when I found during our own referendum how deeply personal this issue is for people. It does go to identity. It goes to how you feel about your democracy. A lot of people in Britain felt European and didn't respond well to the campaign. Myself, I thought the most important thing was, as I was saying in my speech, democracy. You've got to be able to make your own laws. That's what came down from this country, from Greece. And the people have got to be able to decide. And they've got to be able to remove from office the people who are making... The trouble with the EU, much as I love it, is that when the EU passes a law, and it passes many, there is nothing that a single British MP, any British MPs, the British Cabinet, the British Prime Minister, of any British court, can ever do to change that law. And that isn't democratic. And there's nothing that the British people can do to remove Ursula von der Leyen from office. Not that we necessarily want to, but actually, you can't change the way it runs. And there's a huge body of law. And the European Court of Justice is the supreme legal authority. And Brexit, as soon as we came out of the EU, as soon as we had the power to make our own decisions, one of the first things we did. And I know your own paper, which was, by the way, my paper. The first job I had was working on The Economist many years ago. The first thing we were able to do was approve vaccinations, Pfizer, AstraZeneca, Moderna, I think a couple of others, about 5 weeks or so, several weeks before the 27 EU countries, because we were outside the European Medicines Agency. And you won't read that in The Economist, my friends. You won't hear that on the BBC, but it meant that by March 2021, we had vaccinated 45% of the UK population, and almost 100% of those over 80, whereas the average in Europe, in the EU, was about 10%. And we came out of that, we came out of lockdown far faster. We had the fastest economic recovery in the G7. So look, whatever people say, democracy matters. In a globalized economy, the ability to decide your own laws really matters. And it made a difference for us right at the beginning, as soon as we came out of the EU. So, let's see how. I think it's crazy, frankly, having standards decided at a European level about children's toys or cars or food. These should be decided globally. It's ridiculous. And we should have free trade. We should have free transatlantic trade. That's my solution. So I can't remember what your question was.
And whether Greece should leave?
No. Greece should decide. It's up to Greece to decide. And there will be geostrategic considerations that will weigh with Greece that are totally different from
I suspect that one of the things that will weigh with Greece is their observation of our experience. I think there was a time not so long ago when Grexit was an important word here. I don't think it's around anymore. And
I know the views of the Economist newspaper. They are not.
That means you read us, which is excellent. Well done.
Not perhaps not as much as I used to. But look, I think that it was always the UK's position. We didn't want to break up the EU. We don't want necessarily to see other countries leave. I just didn't think that it was right for us. I think democracy really, really matters. And when I look at the UK, I see massive potential now and massive opportunities from having freedom to do things differently. And you will not. And one of the crucial things is on migration and borders, where we have the legal sovereignty to decide what we want to do, which we didn't have before.
Okay, let's move on. Evangelos